You're watching a Highwire Media podcast.
Every offseason, a few notable free agents linger on the market as clubs wait out the asking price. This winter, that dynamic gives the Texas Rangers an opportunity. With one rotation spot still open, they're positioned to target a bargain, short-term, prove-it deal from the pitchers still searching for a home. Among that list is southpaw and first-time free agent Framber Valdez, who has spent all 8 of his MLB seasons with the Houston Astros. The calendar is shifting to 2026 in less than a month until pitchers and catchers report to spring training on February 10th. Time is running out for Valdez to have a full spring and get prepped for the year. That leaves them wondering if they've overvalued themselves and evaluating different options. The Rangers are looking for a pitcher to round out their rotation in 2026. While it has been widely expected that Arm would be a cheaper, low-cost option to fill the back end of the starting staff, the two lefties open up doors for Texas to potentially be creative. Short prove-it deals are more geared towards position players and relievers these days, but it's not uncommon to see a starter bet on himself in a slow market year. Dodgers pitcher Blake Snell is one of the most recent examples of a pitcher successfully pulling it off after signing a 2-year deal with the Giants with a first-year opt-out and using his 2024 campaign as a torpedo into a 5-year, $182 million deal. The problem with starters is that the workload demands about 25 to 30 starts a year and doesn't come with a cheap price tag. Even Snell's Giants deal was for $62 million. Cheaper deals for starters trying to prove it are usually from injuries like Dustin May, who signed a 1-year, $12.5 million deal with St. Louis this offseason. Valdez has been talented lefty throughout his career with an 81.52 record, 3.36 ERA, a little over 1,000 strikeouts, 389 walks, and a 1.220 whip in 188 games. Due to his struggles during his contract year, there could be wiggle room there, but I don't see him comparing himself to May's $12.5 million deal, and that would be Texas's best hope to land him. Another aspect that Rangers could capitalize a short deal from is the expiration of collective bargaining agreement following the 2026 season, and impending lockout next winter that is estimated to last longer than the one prior to 2022. On one hand, players might want to get a longer-term deal locked up with their teams and not have to worry about going through the exhausting free agent process again next winter. It does heavily depend on what interest they are currently garnering from respective teams. For a player like Valdez, a bad age 31 season means not a lot of teams are lining up at his door to offer 4 to 5 year deals with $100+ million, or he would have signed already. He could be among the pitchers ready to prove himself with a 1-year audition, and depending on the terms of new CBA, could greatly benefit in his next contract if he does pitch well. As we inch closer to spring training, predictions about division winners are already dominating the conversation, and with no surprise, the Texas Rangers are not looking too good. When it comes to the American League West Division, the Seattle Mariners are favored to repeat as division champs. The consensus is that the Rangers have the 3rd best odds out of the 5-team divisions. After 2 straight missed postseasons, the Rangers spent the offseason dumping underperformers on big contracts and replacing them with a lot of hit-or-miss targets. That has led Texas to being seen as a bottom 10 team heading into the new year. It's a long road back to contention for the Rangers, as the moves to replace what they lost in free agency have been ones that most other teams would consider to be spring training invites to fill a roster. To date, their biggest move has been the deductions, trading Marcus Semien and releasing Adolis Garcia, Jonah Heim, Josh Sborz, and Jacob Webb after choosing to non-tender them back in November. Outside of outfielder Brandon Nimmo, who they got in the Semien trade, their effort to get better included the big names of Danny Jansen, Tyler Alexander, and Alexis Diaz, which those signings were all announced on the same day. Meanwhile, Seattle has retained most of their stars. The Astros signed one of the bigger Japanese free agents. The Athletics are now spending money, and even the Angels added reinforcements and finally dumped Anthony Rendon. Then the calendar flipped to 2026, and President of Baseball Operations Chris Young stated that the focus has shifted to filling out the rest of the pitching staff, hinting that the offense might already be settled, which is a scary thing to hear given that no real added improvements have been made. They've mostly been addition by subtraction. There seems to be plenty of gloom and doom surrounding the 2026 version of the Texas Rangers going around these days. With Ray Davis and ownership slashing the budget and tying one hand behind Chris Young's back to go out and revamp a disappointing 2025 squad, Fans are concerned that this season will just be more of the same. Well, we're going to take a look at some bold predictions for individual players and the team that, while they appear unattainable, are not out of the realm of possibility. Number 1, Josh Smith will hit 300 this year. This may be the least bold prediction of the bunch, as Smith will assume the full-time role at second base following Simeon's trade to the Mets. He's a contact hitter who, despite hitting in the 250s in his first 2 full major league seasons, hit 266 in the first half of last year, and consistently showed the ability to hit to all fields. Knowing that he'll be at second base every day will serve the versatile Smith well mentally, and he will be able to pace himself at the plate to the tune of a breakout 300 season. Number 2, Jack Leiter will flirt with a 20-win season. With a superb second half last year, Leiter proved that all the physical tools are in place to bust out in 2026. Coming off a 10-win season and an upward trajectory that is through the roof as he gets more and more confident on the mound, he is poised to hit a much bigger win total this season. If the Rangers' offense improves as predicted by most metrics, he'll get better run support, and what were losses and no decisions in 2025 will become wins in his second full campaign, taking solid ownership of the third spot in the rotation. Jock Peterson will rebound and be an all-star DH. That's our third prediction. This is more than a "you can't do any worse" type of foretelling. Every Ranger fan knows what a disaster the 2025 season was for the prize free agent signing. We're looking for Jock to not only return to his normal 250 average and 20-homer form, but rebound in a way that no one is expecting in the upcoming year. Nobody took last year's debacle harder than Peterson and has been eating away at him this entire offseason. And he has too much pride in what he does on the field. He will want to prove he's worth that $37 million deal and have the best first half of his career as a 33-year-old. The Rangers will win 90 games in 2026. Hear us out on this one. As great as Bruce Bochy was for this team, the first ballot Hall of Famer manager, and lost his edge last season. He was just driving the bus and letting the players ride on the coattails of the monumental 2023 World Series championship. With the core of that team now taken apart, his new skipper, Skip Shoemaker, has his own block of clay to shape in a completely new form. He is inheriting a team that was headed for 90 wins last season before late injuries and poor hitting ultimately derailed the season. Shoemaker will hold this group accountable and bring new energy to Globe Life Field in the form of 90 wins. Next, a big fish free agent will be added at the deadline. Last season, there was ambiguity regarding whether the Rangers would be buyers or sellers at the trade deadline. This season, there will be no doubt that the organization will be eating as they vie for the AL West pennant. Davis and Young will be sitting on plenty of dry gunpowder at the deadline that will allow them to bring in either a big-time closer or a high-priced bat for the stretch run. They will be one piece away from being a serious contender at the deadline, and Young will be given a hefty allowance to make his creation whole. Texas Rangers' reluctance to add more bats could come back to haunt them. Texas Rangers President of Baseball Operations, Chris Young, recently said the Rangers feel pretty good about their position players heading into 2026, and that pitching is the main focus. According to the Dallas Morning News, the Rangers should definitely add another starting pitcher, which they appear to plan to do, but they also should add another position player or two. While the Rangers have made offensive improvements this offseason by trading Marcus Semien for Brandon Nimmo, who has posted an OPS plus above 100 in each of the past 9 seasons, and signing catcher Danny Jansen, who posted a 101 OPS plus in 98 games last year, to a 2-year, $14.5 million contract, their decision to focus on pitching rather than adding more position players could come back to haunt them. Now, Young still may add another bat later in the offseason if there's an affordable one available on the free agent market, but being confident in their current offense is a mistake. Texas can likely count on Nimmo, Seager, and Langford to be above average or even elite hitters next season. But the rest of the lineup features a lot of question marks. Josh Young has failed to perform to the level he did in 2023. Jake Berger has disappointed since the Rangers acquired him from the Marlins last offseason. Evan Carter cannot seem to stay healthy. Peterson struggled mightily last year. Adding an established corner infielder, DH, would likely significantly improve Texas's offense. Bo Bichette would be a good fit, but there is almost no way the Rangers sign him, considering their limited budget this offseason. A couple of position players the Rangers should consider targeting are first baseman Rhys Hoskins and utility man Willie Castro. Hoskins hit .237, .332, .416 with 12 homers and 43 RBI in 90 games with the Brewers last season, would have a better chance of making the offense better, while Castro would give the team more defensive versatility. Castro struggled mightily at the plate after being acquired by the Cubs last offseason, but he had a solid .265, .356, .435 slash line with 9 homers and 24 RBI for the Minnesota Twins before the All-Star break. And that is our episode for this week of the Talking Texas Rangers show. Let me know your thoughts on all the topics we covered in the comment section below. And if there's anything we missed, anything got wrong, let me know. And if you have a certain topic you want covered in future episodes, drop that in the comments as well. Of course, you can find us on all major podcast platforms, Good Pods, Amazon, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. And don't forget, our episode was sponsored by Fanatics. If you're looking for the best place to get your Rangers merch, check out Fanatics today. Use the link in the description today and go find yourself some great Texas Rangers merch. Thank you so much for watching and listening. We will see you next time.